Thank you for joining us again on Sunny Days.
Hopefully you're there anyways.
I know, right? I was thinking about that. I told Elijah had asked me how many people were watching the podcast, and I said hundreds.
Oh.
I don't know how. It felt right.
Make us sound way cooler than we are.
It may just be your mom.
Yeah. Pretty much my mom, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah,
and Casey Keener.
Casey, he always does that. He'll text me and said, "Is this a good one?" Or like he'll ask if it's good to listen to it at work or whatever. But yeah, how you doing?
Me?
You, Courtney?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, you look good.
Oh, you look good.
Do I?
Mm-hmm. I told you I like those colors on you.
I feel like I kind of look like crap.
No, handsome. Always.
That chemo has been kicking my butt.
Yeah.
I feel like I got
kind of on a slow roll.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that what people say? I
guess. I got like dark bags under my eyes.
Oh, but you always do a little bit. That's where Elijah gets it from.
Well, that was rude.
But they're cute. It's just who you are. You can always tell how you feel based on your eyes.
Man,
I know when you're going down.
Yeah, I think I am on the upswing. I think I'm coming up. Just oops, sorry, buddy.
Let's start over. Scratch that.
I think it was just a little slower Well, I mean, I guess they say it compiles, but anyway, yeah, it's been eventful.
Very eventful.
Very eventful.
You've had a long,
like feels like a
forever,
month, but like a year. I know. I was thinking about that. July will be a year.
Yeah,
we're in May,
and it does not. It feels like, to me, it feels like it just happened. But then I also feel like I'm at that point where you're like, "What? When is this over?"
Is it? Yeah, I could see how people would get like, kind of anxious about that, because you're like, in your mind, or in my mind, I'm like, I've planned a few vacations already.
I know.
In my mind.
Well, we keep doing it. We're like, this time we're doing it. And then we're like, well, I guess we got to push that back.
Yeah. It feels like you're just like on this pause. And you're like, I hope I can't wait to get past the pause. But then like in a deep, dark room by yourself, you're like, I hope I get past the pause. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I love you.
But
that's true.
It is. You're like,
I just cry in the sauna. Shout out Hot Works.
Do you really?
Yeah. They're like, you're a warrior. And I'm like, yes, I am. I'm a warrior. So you can't tell the difference between the sweat and the tears. It just all.
Yeah. That's a good idea, actually. Is it the sweat got in my eye?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been. Yeah. This is going to be the best podcast so far we've had. I believe that. I think I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
It's special to me.
Yeah. No, for us, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went into, we had a long weekend of tests. I guess we could talk about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So I had to go to Vanderbilt last week, and we started on Thursday. And so we did Thursday, Friday test. And it's just like pre-stem cell stuff. And
all day thing.
Yeah.
Morning until breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much like at the hospital, which is not cheap, by the way. We spent, I think like we spent a good bit of money in the cafeteria, but yeah,
I think it was all like almost $60.
I was like,
but you did get two pieces of cake.
Yeah. I got 2 pieces. I couldn't decide which one to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that didn't help the pocketbook, but it was fine. We didn't anticipate it. I mean, the schedule showed it being all day, but it felt like we didn't get to sit down.
No, we were back and forth, back and forth.
I think it's the most tests I've ever done.
Yeah.
I did.
But they were like efficient as they could be.
Absolutely. I don't think we sat in a waiting room more than what? I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. I feel like maybe we sat out in one for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so.
Yeah. I got a bone marrow biopsy. I mean, like to go over it, I got like 28 vials of blood taken.
28? I didn't realize it was that many.
It was a lot. And then I've got an echo. I got a EKG. I got, what was it? What else did I do?
I don't know.
Oh, I had to do the physical test, which, by the way, I broke records. Broke them. The lady's like, you're in great health, Mr. Bell. I had to walk laps and do grip strength and would shout out.
You were racing.
Yeah, I was like, when she told me, like, she's like, you got to do as many squats as you can in 30 seconds. And I was like, you know, what do you mean? Do I need to do like, you know, as fast as I can? Or are you wanting me to try to do good? You know? And she's like, yeah. I mean, this is going to determine, you know, if you're healthy. And I was like, all right. So I did it. And I think I did in 30 seconds. I think I did 30. And she's like, oh, wow, that was really good. You know? And I was like, oh yeah. And she's like, yeah, you're breaking records. And it's like, I was like, I'm going hard the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So like,
it was a challenge accepted.
So we had to walk, and I did as many laps.
She probably says that to everyone.
Probably, but it worked.
The 70-year-old man comes in there and she's like, the best I've seen. Should have seen the young guy before you.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
Yeah, that's probably true, but it worked. So, but yeah, I did a bunch of testing, and you know, great news is it come back. I mean, everything's come back
super healthy.
Good. Yeah, my heart's good. My liver's good. My kidneys are good. Everything's good. You know, my blood counts are still recovering, so that makes me feel bad. And yeah, the bone marrow, we got first half of the bone marrow biopsy back. No leukemia, MRD negative still.
Still waiting on the second half.
Well, that will determine fully. Yeah, so I guess it's not technically, but it seems to be trending that way. But yeah, if the PCR comes back MRD negative, that's right where we want to be, and which is great. So yeah, I'm happy.
As of today, so far, so good.
Yeah, as of right now, you know, we're sitting in a good place, and that was nice. I mean, the bone marrow biopsies there are much easier. I've done it two ways. I've had. Have we talked about? I don't think we ever mentioned. I think
maybe.
Did I?
Have you mentioned the drill?
I don't remember, but it's like there's one that's like
we have a lot going on in life. Okay, so
if I've told you, I'm gonna do it quickly. One is a bone marrow biopsy where they take. It looks like a tire plug kit, basically. You know, they numb you up, but they can't numb you all the way because it's in your bone. But they take that tire plug kit into your hip and they twist it in. Anybody who knows what that looks like. So basically, hand drilling into you.
I'm sure there's like a legit name for it, and we're like the tire plug.
But what really hurts is when they suck the bone marrow out. It hurts really bad. And then at Vanderbilt, what they do is they allow me to take a little pain medicine, which I never got to. I don't know that it's helping, but in my mind, I'm like, this has got to be helping. But
placebo.
There's a drill they use, which sounds worse. I actually had to watch a video before, and
you were freaked out. I remember you watching the video.
Because she would go, boom, like it.
And of course, in the video, they're like, this is great.
Yeah. It's like, no, there's no way. It's not a real video, you know? Yeah. And I will be honest, it still hurts.
Right.
But it's a little faster.
Right.
Right. So it's like, it was kind of funny this time.
And don't they put like a needle? You said they numb something else too, right?
They numb like my butt, you know, or the hip area. And then they actually,
did she say they numbed the bone?
A little bit. I think like maybe the exterior, because I can feel it grinding.
Really?
I think they try to do as best they can.
Oh, God.
But I don't think they can get fully in there. But yeah, I mean.
When you say that, I'm just like imagining my teeth on concrete.
It's exactly what it's like. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. Anybody who's ever had one, they're champions. The cool thing about Vanderbilt, I want to give this lady a shout out. I don't remember her name, but the lady who gives them, who's been doing it for like 20 years.
Isn't she on the video you watched?
Yep.
Yeah.
She actually volunteered to donate bone marrow and had a biopsy done so that she knew what it felt like while she was doing it.
What?
Pretty cool. I was like, you're real. You're an OG. That's cool. Yep. That was neat.
That's amazing.
I was like, because she said, you know, when she was doing it, she's like, well, I know the pain.
That's like a good person. That's like a real good person.
Yeah, it was great. It was really good. Like I noticed this time when it was a different lady that did it, she said she kind of took her a little bit longer to drill. She's like, ooh, them young bones. And I was like, oh my God, hurry up. You know, and it kind of falls through.
She said them young bones?
Yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, I guess that's good.
Wow.
I don't know. Funny. Anyway. Yeah. So everything's coming back really good. That means I'm doing well. That doesn't mean, I'm cancer. Like I'm not, I still have leukemia and all those things. This just means they've beat it up where we can't detect it. And then in hopes for stem cell.
Yeah. We're hanging in there. Whole fam's hanging in there.
It was tough though. I mean, it was exhausting. I mean, mentally, physically, it was just a real,
the whole
experience.
Yeah.
We can't get too deep into it. I don't guess why it was exhausting, but they do go.
We will one day.
Yeah, but they do give you a lot of information, and they have to tell you like, hey, this is the real figures, and this is what your real. Like I feel like when I'm at home, and like I'm just going through my routine, just trying to stay healthy, trying to stay ready, and healing up and resting. You kind of forget the heaviness sometimes. Not completely. It never goes away, but you almost forget how heavy, right? And then when you go and you're around all those patients, and then then they're telling you all the information, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm still really sick.
It's pretty I think I might have told you. And I was in the waiting room. You were back there getting your biopsy because I can't go back with Colton when he gets his bone marrow biopsy. But a lady walked in. She was very unwell.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it is the hematology, oncology side. So she's there for some similar reason you are.
Yeah.
Maybe lymphoma, leukemia, I'm not sure, but something close. And she was not well. She didn't look well, and really makes you sad.
It's discouraging.
Because I see how bad you feel, and so I don't physically, she looked bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I know when you physically feel bad, but not everyone does. So it's just different. Like you said, it's a different sort of heaviness, seeing all the sick people, and then the doctors being just very blunt with you.
Very, I guess you're glad they do it, but at the same time,
very factual. You have people that are probably a little more in tune with their sensitive side.
Yeah.
Their humanity.
You had a friend, one of our friends said recently, probably, I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying it was destiny, because we're around the Lewises a lot. And and I think probably.
Well, they live that way.
Yeah.
And
so we go there.
They house us and feed us and hold us. And
but they see us, they've seen us obviously healthy, but then they've seen me through this whole process, especially trying to get ready for transplant. And she made a comment the other day. She says it is confusing. You are a bit confusing.
Well, like you said, all your tests.
Well,
it's
she's saying because I look healthy. She's like, it's like when I see you, I don't see, that person where you go, oh my God, they're really sick.
Well, I think also unless you have known someone personally, and seen it up close firsthand, the picture you have in your mind is all probably off of a movie.
Right. Yeah.
And how
I'm
it's
not giving
portrayed
you movie
is
vibes,
not. Yeah. And it's, mostly inaccurate.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's not accurate. And
I look healthy, but right now I probably feel like.
You feel like boo-boo.
Yeah. Even
That's
right
okay.
now.
I know you do.
I don't feel great, but you just learn to live with it and try to, get past it and don't let it.
But even on that aspect though, we were saying, we're like, this is just, it kind of feels like a practical joke because
all the time,
all of your tests come back you're healthy in every other aspect
other than
literally setting the bar high for just an average person, like a person that's not sick,
Yeah.
And
she was
it's
freaked
very
out. I made a joke about the physical training, but she's kind of you could tell from the get up, she was very confused. I'm not her typical leukemia patient,
right?
Walking in and doing the physical training part. Yeah. So I thought that was, encouraging for me, but it's confusing for me as well. It's how am I exercise? I work out. She's like, well, how do you exercise? And I told her, I was just honest. I said, I lift weights 5 days a week, for about an hour. That's my goal. And I do it, some days better than others, obviously, but I find it odd that I can still bench press 225 on a flat bench and I'm kind of dying, like, I mean, not really, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's like a very odd.
You're not dying. It's
But
just a bump in the road.
I know, but you know what I mean? It's just like a very strange feeling. Obviously that doesn't, equate to everything, but without, I guess there are good news, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we've got great news.
We've got great news.
We've got great news.
There's a lot of like details to the news and stuff, and we might get into that a little bit. But they found a donor. And, yep, we have a donor, and we know them.
Yes,
it's pretty cool. This is really cool. So, a lot of the time when you get a donor, you can't know their name, you can't know anything about them, and a year later they'll
connect you.
They'll ask the person if they want to connect, and then that person can opt into connecting with you. And if so, you connect, and that's kind of what I've been anticipating. Well, I didn't anticipate someone I knew being the person they selected as my donor, and I was like, obviously,
obviously, this has been the whole finding a donor thing has been a journey.
It's tough,
and because you didn't have any perfect quote, perfect matches in the registry for unrelated,
no,
you had one person that came up, one relative that came up that was a potential that didn't pan out.
Yeah, they didn't follow through with their testing. I'm not afraid, it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I wasn't sure if you wanted to say that.
Like, well, I mean, I'm not bashing anybody. I love my family, but it is odd to me,
for
whatever reason, that anybody, and I'm not speaking just specifically to my family, but that anybody would not do whatever they needed to do.
It's definitely confusing, to get to that point and then not follow through with.
Yeah, and
just a blood work.
It could be as simple as just not having time. Like I'm not saying it's malicious. I want to be super clear. Like I love this person, and there wasn't just one family member that didn't follow through.
Oh yeah, no, you have family members that straight up said no.
If you think I'm talking about you, I might not be, but I'm just saying, like, it's odd to me that this is so common amongst family. Like we've talked to several
people.
It's not just me. People say that some family members didn't want to do it. We had people reach out.
Like in the beginning, like I put out a plea, and I was like, please, if you are a family, please do a swab kit. Yeah. If you've been called to do blood work, please go get your blood work done. And I had people messaging me, telling me, that have been through this process and been through stem cell transplant, saying that they dealt with the same thing with their family, and they were shocked. Like they couldn't believe that, people couldn't understand
the gravity.
Right. Like you taking so long, how big of an impact it takes, because sometimes that takes more time, and there's so much that goes into it that we don't have control over as far as decision making. So,
I don't know if it's even intentions. Like I want to be clear about this. I don't even know if it's like bad intentions, and I don't think it is. But I think sometimes, kind of like Destiny said, it's confusing. Well, you look healthy, so I'll get to it when I can or feel like I can. Well, I'm over here like, obviously because it's me, it's like, oh, please, hurry. But also there are windows to this process that you have to hit these windows. And if you don't, you might miss your window, and now you can't do it. And then that's when the disease takes over. And
like for instance, like you just got a biopsy done.
Yep.
If this biopsy
doesn't come back, if the rest of it comes back bad, I can't get a transplant. I mean, we don't anticipate
and that's why,
but it happens like that.
Yeah. That's why and then if you ever run into anyone else in this situation, push so hard.
Yeah.
Please hurry. Time is of the essence.
Yeah. You feel like you're nagging a little bit sometimes, if you feel like, but I love my family. I want to make sure I say that again, but I love each and every one of my family members. I'm just like, I wish I could express to you in any of them.
Well, it isn't a letdown. And I think that's
it hurt my feelings a little bit, and I think their intent was, or when I say they, it is more than one. It's not one person. I think people's intent was to do it, or I hope so at least. And but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Right.
It does
We got
happen.
good news.
It's odd. We got
But
great
this
news. It's
that
part of the process.
that was part of the process, and that is part of what led to the decision of who your donor is now, and it is someone close to you, someone you know.
Because
yeah. And I think
they're
some
here
people
today.
I think some people will be surprised, and then maybe others not so much. But either way,
it's cool.
It's very
they're here. They're going to interview with me.
Very special. Yeah. So
Courtney's going to step away.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him in. I'm gonna leave my comfy chair and hand it over to your guest and your donor, and
let's do it.
Yeah, hope y'all have fun. I've already talked to him. I know he's got some good would you rather questions. So let's see.
Let's go.
A few moments later.
Welcome, Reese.
Hi.
The donor, the one, the only. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It's worse next.
I'm glad you're here, though.
Oh, thank you.
How does it feel to be a superhero?
Pretty good.
Do you feel like a superhero?
Somewhat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess not everybody knows who you are. Why don't you tell them your name, how old you are?
My name is Reese Bell. I'm about 15. I turned 15 recently, actually.
Yeah.
Well, a couple months ago. How about that?
Yeah. What grade are you in?
I'm in 8th grade, about to go to high school.
Yeah. Oh, the big. How do you feel about high school?
Slightly nervous, but pretty excited.
Yeah, you should be pretty excited. Do you? So how do you know me?
Well, you're my father.
That is true. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good that I know you. You're a pretty good guy.
I brought you in this world. Now you're keeping me from going out of it.
Yeah.
Man, well, this is my donor. This is my son, Reese Bell.
Hi.
Yes, we're pumped up. I know probably some people, friends of ours, probably could guess a little bit that you could be my donor, right?
Yeah.
And, but honestly, there was a season where we didn't know if you would, be the donor, right? They kind of acted like you wouldn't be.
I actually think I wasn't going to be a donor.
Yeah, I kind of convinced myself it wouldn't be you. But then I don't know. There was always that piece of me that was like, I don't know. I just felt like it was possible. And so
anything's possible.
Yeah, that's right. And just a little information. Reese and I will be considered a haploidentical stem cell transplant. And that means that we're related, obviously. And he's a half match. So there are 6 different genetic points, and there's 2 per 6. So it's 12 total points, if that makes sense. And Reese hits 1 out of every 6 of those. So he hits all of them, which is important. Reese is also O blood. He's O positive, but I'm O negative, but he's O blood. So that helps. And yeah. And then, there's some other parts of it that are pretty cool as far as graft versus host disease and him being my son and genetics. And yeah, it's just crazy. But I think before we get too deep into that, we should do my favorite part of this show, which is Would You Rather? Welcome. This is your first Would You Rather experience, is it not?
Yeah, it's my first.
Do you do this with your friends ever?
The only time I remember doing this is probably when I was younger in elementary school. I had this whole book I got from this store.
Did you really? See, I knew there was a book. I told your mom that there's probably a book out. Okay.
I tried looking for it, but I couldn't find it.
So you have some Would You Rather questions for me, correct?
Of course.
Okay, well let's get started. Hit me with the first one. You got it written down?
Yeah, I wrote them down on the card because, as you learned, that I have really bad memory.
That's all right.
Yeah. Would you rather fight Frankenstein or Bigfoot?
That's actually a really good question. That's really tough. Okay, because here's my question. I mean, can you kill Frankenstein? Like if I was to have to talk it out, I would say, can you even kill Frankenstein? Isn't he kind of dead?
Yes.
He is dead, right? You can kill Frankenstein?
Yeah, you can't kill
Okay.
Frankenstein again.
Does he have powers?
No. I mean, other than he's really strong.
Okay. And then Bigfoot is obviously...
He's Bigfoot. You know, Bigfoot's Bigfoot.
Okay, I'm going to have to fight Frankenstein because I feel like he's going to be slow.
Actually, that was going to be my same answer too. Because he's slow.
Yeah, I feel like if I had to run away and figure it out, maybe.
Yeah. But do you know how you kill Frankenstein, though?
No, enlighten me.
According to what happened in the movie Frankenstein, they burned him.
Oh, so we had to burn him? Oh, Frankenstein. That's the final answer for Frankenstein. That
Nice.
It only makes sense. Okay. Well, all right. Hit me with another one.
This one's going to be an interesting one. Would you rather be the last human on Earth or be the first human on Mars?
That's a really good question. Yours, look, don't tell your mom, but yours might be better than hers. I'm just saying. I want you to know. Okay. Mm-hmm. The last human on Earth or the first human on Mars? I know my answer. I'm not sure it's a good answer. Okay, because here's my thought. Last human on Earth, I can think of a lot of things I could do.
Yeah.
I could really, like, it's already established. I could go to all the parks, no line, turn the power on.
Exactly.
But then I was thinking, if I'm the first person on Mars, other people are going to come eventually.
Yeah.
So I would maybe be alone forever.
If I could actually add this, you got to be honest.
Okay.
You know how long it takes to get to Mars?
No, I don't.
Well, I actually don't really know the exact number, but it's, you know what light year is?
Yes.
It's basically years, but, 2 times longer.
So because somebody, like, probably nobody in my lifetime is what you're saying? Would probably. Okay. Last person on Earth. Just sorry. That's what would you do?
Shoot. Honestly, being the first human on Mars would be cool, but you got to think about if you're ever going to come back.
I would say probably not, right?
Yeah. So, judging, not trying to, be a little weird about it, but, a bunch of other things have happened with, rockets recently. A bunch of accidents.
Yeah. Well, okay. So what are you thinking?
Last human on Earth.
Okay. Me and you, baby. Let's go. I love it, brother. Good job. Is that your last one?
Yeah.
All right. Good job. Good job. That was really good. That was better than your mom's. Don't tell her.
Yeah. What'd she say?
Let's see. One time she asked me if I would rather fight a chicken to the death every day, or whether would I rather fight a chimpanzee or a monkey, I can't remember which one it was, once a year to the death.
Oh, wait. Actually, I have a good one real quick. One more.
Okay.
We do the little noise.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Would you rather?
To be honest, this is not exactly a would you rather, but who do you think win?
Okay.
100 men versus 1 gorilla.
Yeah, I've seen that online.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was curious.
Do you think 100 Reese's could beat a gorilla?
100 of me? No. I probably a bunch of me would be getting thrown around.
Yeah. I know 100 of me could not.
Yeah, but how about 100 just regular grown men?
I am a regular grown man, Reese.
How about that? Yeah, how about that?
No, grown men, Dad. Not you.
Not you. You're different. Pretty durable for a grown man.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm gonna have to say probably not. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I could. I don't think so.
Unless they could overpower the gorilla. It's just 1 gorilla.
If it's 100 at the same time, that's a different story. But I think it's like 100 times. I think what they were asking is like out of 100 times, could you beat it one time? I think that's what they were saying.
Yeah, from what I learned, I think it's just saying 100 all at once.
Okay. Well, either way, I think it would be tough.
Yeah, it would probably come at, pretty.
Yeah. Well, I have some questions here for you. First, though, I'd like to ask you like a few just normal questions. What do you think, what are your interests? I know you brought your book in here. I mean, I know your interests, but
one of my, pretty unique interests is probably my hobby for drawing a lot of things.
Like what kind of things?
I used to be, when I was little, before I used to, start drawing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I started drawing in 5th grade. So in 8th, I'd be like, on 8th, probably like 3 years.
Yeah. And what, do you make these characters up? Do you copy them? What?
I actually make these characters myself, not a lot of inspiration for them. I just kind of base them off of. One is based off my favorite one of my favorite animals, probably a rabbit. I love rabbits.
Yeah,
Who doesn't like rabbits?
I do. I love your drawings, and I don't know if you planned on mentioning, but you have been working on something for quite some time.
A story. To be honest with you, I actually haven't really touched it in a while. It's because
Yeah.
mostly, when I looked back on it, I actually read the entire thing when I had my free time.
Like a book, you were writing like a graphic novel.
If you were to, the reason it turned into a graphic novel instead of a chapter book is because when you read it, it's pretty short. But I think that it would be longer if I were to make graphic novels with pictures.
I agree. I like the idea. Why don't you can't get up, but just kind of open it and show it. And I'll put some pictures of, I'll scan them and I'll put some pictures where people can see kind of what you're working on.
Yeah. So I actually got this notebook for my birthday. So I wish I did bring some older photos so I can show you differences, but
I'll post them up so they can see.
yeah. So this is the first one. This is the rabbit character I had mentioned. Yeah. It's actually, I actually really like this one. I'm pretty sure this is the second character I ever made.
Does it have a name?
Yes. Her name is Misty, mostly because her color scheme, which is not in the picture, sadly. I didn't really want to color it.
Sure.
I mostly like, just, drawing it and just leaving it like that. I sometimes color.
So it'd be safe to assume that you take your drawings kind of seriously?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like you're not just doodling.
Yeah.
Like you enjoy.
Around the picture, when you pull it up, you'll see that most of it is doodles around. But
Sure.
the more of the bigger pictures are the main thing you need to look at.
Yeah.
So, and this next one was actually the very first character. But there's going to be some major differences when I show you the old ones.
All right, I'll put it side by side right here.
Yeah, because, I had to change it a lot. Mostly because, I didn't like certain things. I did keep certain things, but made them, in certain ways.
Sure.
So, as I said, a bunch of the smaller ones are just doodles, but the bigger ones are, main thing, as I said.
Well, what I'll do is me and you, once we finish the pod, I'll upload some of them.
Sure.
And we'll get it done. I love it, man. I love your drawings. I think your story's great. I hope you keep working on it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, I really do. So besides that, you're in the band at school. You're going freshman year. I know we kind of said that, but that's pretty exciting. I know a lot of people when they see me, like some friends, like they just think it's weird that I have a son as old as you.
Yeah.
You'll be getting your learner's permit soon, and we'll be working through getting your license next year, which is crazy. You think you're ready for that?
Yeah, I'm very ready.
I'm excited for you. Well, let's talk a little bit more about why you're on here. You are my donor, which is kind of wild, as we kind of said before. But how do you feel about that? Like you being my, like, how did, if you had to put it into words, when you found out, how did it make you feel to know that you would be my donor?
I was very surprised that I was actually a donor.
Yeah.
Though at the same time, I was also kind of expecting it because, I am your son and, I came from you. So I wouldn't expect no less. But one thing I didn't expect was my blood type. I didn't think my blood type was O. I thought it was something else completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure O is more of the uncommon ones, right?
Well, O negative is. I want to say O positive, which I could be wrong, but I think it's a little more, quite a bit more common. But still, I didn't know that it would. I didn't think you were O. I don't know what your mom's blood type is.
Well, prepare yourself to have some positive in you.
Hey, you are positive. That's a good idea.
A little positivity.
I love that, brother. So, did it make you nervous, anxious?
It made me a little more anxious because I was kind of worried, there's also the chance that it'll save you, but also, on the other hand, the chance that it's not going to work.
Yeah, that is true. And then
that's the one side I'm just more worried about, is that not working, but it's best not to stress yourself over something like that.
I agree. I think
it's probably much better if you just do it and take that chance. It's always how I say things about, luck. It's not about strategy or anything like that. it's just about pulling the trigger.
That's right. I like it. That's a good, yeah. So we're doing it, man. We're pulling the trigger. I
Yeah.
love that, man. That was great. I think that, we can't worry about, your mom said this one time. She said, at least we have the opportunity to do it.
Exactly.
There was a season with leukemia. It's been some time ago, but they didn't have this technology,
I still remember when I first learned you got cancer.
How did it make you feel?
I was pretty sad, but as you know, I don't really like, to cry. So I didn't cry about it.
That's all right. But you can cry if you want to.
Of course.
Yeah.
But,
It's just not your thing.
I don't really cry. Everybody else did. I know, as I, saw.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of awkward that I wasn't, crying.
I think everybody deals with things differently.
I was just kind of silent. You could say I was kind of stunned about that.
Yeah.
I generally thought you just had some kind of, be honest with you, like some kind of like heart attack or like stroke.
Oh, no. I didn't think I had that, but I did. Yeah.
Coming to the hospital.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, please don't tell me like he's got cancer. I was like, please don't tell me it's cancer. Please don't tell me. Please don't tell me. No.
And then it was.
Yeah. You're like, I got it. Like, you're like, boys, I need to tell you something. I'm like, please don't be cancer. Please don't be cancer. Please don't be cancer. It's cancer.
How did I do with that conversation? Would you say that I did pretty good, or was it not good?
Oh, like with the, telling us you got cancer. You did good, actually. You kind of put it lightly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hit me soft and then hit me hard.
Yeah.
It kind of hit me soft at first when you said, like, I have to tell you something. I was like, oh, okay. And then you kind of hit me hard with the cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it hits everybody hard.
Yeah.
Hit me pretty hard, actually. You might not know, but it kind of hit me hard. I wasn't crying or anything, but I was pretty stressed out about this.
Well, I'm sure I know that you, everybody handles things differently. And I've been so proud of the way you've handled yourself through this process.
It was also mostly because I didn't know what kind of cancer you had.
Right.
I was hoping it wasn't like one of the bad kinds, but hey, lucky for us, Lady Luck is smiling upon us for once and said, hey, let's just let him have the most favorable one.
Right. Of the AML, which
is still pretty bad.
AML's pretty bad, but
hey, all cancers are pretty bad.
Hey, amen to that. But I have a favorable one. You're right. So you have been listening. So I do have a favorable one of the AML. So Lady Luck has got our back, man.
Yeah, man. I always mention Lady Luck sometimes. It's just so funny. I like using that because, to be honest with you, here's a good example. There's a lot of times in school where I should have made probably like the worst grade known to man, like a 0 or something. But, as I said, Lady Luck likes to smile on me.
Yeah.
A lot. So I'm lucky most of the time.
So we went to Vanderbilt this past weekend.
Yeah.
And you did a bunch of tests. You had a bunch of x-rays. So they checked your blood. We're going to tell that story. But, before let's talk about it. Tell them about your giving. How many vials of blood did you give? And tell them about your experience with that.
Exactly 18. They said, I didn't really understand at first because they said 4. But what they meant by that was 4 syringes of blood.
Yeah, it was big.
And then they mentioned 18 vials. I was like, oh boy.
Yes.
They said, hey,
what was that like giving blood like that?
It was pretty fun.
Yeah, you did pretty good, but you did have a little bit of a hiccup. Almost
had a hiccup.
So Reese likes to watch them while they're doing it.
But at the same time, I don't like to watch them, but I watch them.
He's staring at it. And like
I'm kind of stupid, but
his mom was like, because Reese kept making jokes to the nurses like, don't kill me. And, that's my favorite one, not that one. And, so he was kind of being silly. And then, he kind of got a little quiet and was looking.
Make it look like, you're going to make it look like we're forcing you. Stop. Stop. She doesn't say that, but, she, gives the vibes or also just gives it, a little nudge.
And, speaking of, so Reese did almost pass out, but luckily they gave him some snacks and he was good. But
it was kind of like one of those, like, ever like, went to sleep one time and just like had like a little, felt like you were falling and you woke back up.
Was that so you were
That's
there.
How it
you
feels.
Were close. You were close.
I was very close.
Oh,
all right.
Man,
I can feel everything just like not doing what I wanted
we
to do.
We hadn't eaten. It was just kind of a perfect storm for that. But so I'd like that just for the record, like, how do you, when we presented it to you and we just gave you the option to do it, like, what's your reaction to that? Of like, hey, Reese, they want you to be the donor.
I was pretty surprised. I was pretty happy and surprised that,
Like, did you
there's
want
a
to do
donor.
it? Like, were you willing to do it? I
Of
guess is the
course,
question.
I'm willing to do anything for you.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, because you could see how maybe people might think, well, Reese doesn't have an option.
Think about it. Why would I not want to do something for you? You're the reason you're the reason I'm here. You probably could have decided, like, Mom is a pretty average girl. I don't like her, and I probably would never
You'd
existed.
never be here. Well,
Yeah.
I love you, and I appreciate your willingness to do it. And I think people would, there might be some people that say, oh, well, his parents are forcing him to do it, but you've just been so
just so
willing.
y'all know, they've not forcing me to do this.
Yeah. No, we're not.
This is my yeah. This is I'm willing to do this.
Man, I just think it's so cool, and there's a lot of people out there. Like, I spoke with a young lady actually today, and her sister is giving her stem cells. 15 years old, going through the same thing you are, and they're going to give you a central line.
Oh yeah,
and it goes through the groin.
Speaking of that, they were actually giving us two options, not
Yes.
just central line, but they were also going to do, what was it like?
Possibly an IV in each arm.
Yeah. Honestly, I remember them telling me how it was going to look like.
Yeah.
But an IV, what it means is just doing this right here for hours.
Yes.
But if you do the central line, you get put to sleep. So the reason I want to get put to sleep, even though there is some risks to it, but there's risk to everything.
Right.
But, as I said, you got to pull the trigger. So if I could just, get put to sleep, I could shave a few hours.
Yeah.
And make this maybe a little less,
Yeah, do some gaming or something like that while you're doing it. Well, so what would you say, as far as being a donor, even like to young people, but even to older people, what would you say to someone who could potentially be a donor? Would you say this is a difficult process? I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, like, walking down the street, but would you say
none of it's easy, but if it's being difficult as a donor, it's just mostly your mindset of how you proceed it. Because, there is a reason they're giving you a choice.
That's right.
There is no shame in backing down, nor is there no, fear.
Yeah.
Or no, like, no, like, forcing you to do anything. Like, imagine getting told that, hey, you got to give blood. No choice. Come on, get over here now.
Yeah, right.
And they're finna stick an entire drill down you. So
yeah,
I still remember them talking about, like, they aren't gonna do this to me, but I still remember them talking about bone biopsies and all that.
Right. For me, I do a lot of bone marrow biopsies.
Oh man, I've heard about your bone marrow biopsies. They gotta hurt, right?
Yeah, they're tough. But would you say, like, it's so difficult because you're saving someone's life? Would you say it's so inconvenient and hard that it's not worth it?
No, there's nothing in my opinion. This is, if you are a donor watching this, it's mostly about how you think about this. But this is just my opinion. Don't base it off of me.
Sure.
If it being, inconvenient, in my opinion, no. This is, you're saving possibly saving somebody's life. And I feel like I'd be willing to take the chance to, possibly save them. Or, like, as I don't like to really say possibly, more like gonna save them.
Absolutely.
I don't really like having the possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I'm so proud of you, man. I've always been, I'm proud of you and Elijah, but, I've always thought you as a special, guy.
Thank you.
You're my buddy. And I can say that, but, people say, oh, he's your kid. But, I've always just thought you had a really kind and generous heart. And just was always willing to love on somebody and, to go out of your way to maybe speak to somebody that maybe other people wouldn't and things like that. And I just really think that your attitude in this process has just really shown that not only to me but to everybody who you've spoken with so far. You've handled yourself with grace, with maturity, with laughter, and I think you understand the gravity of the situation, and you also are proud to be a part of it. And I just want to say that I am incredibly proud of you. I know this is difficult. I know you handle things, differently, as far as, emotionally, but that I'm your dad. I know this, and I respect your boundaries, and I respect how you process things. And, but that doesn't mean your mom and I don't know, how you feel. And, that doesn't mean we're, not there. And I think you know that, but I would just want to say, this is so big of you, man. I mean, when grown people were too scared to do it, you, a 15-year-old, you're still a boy, but
I can't imagine somebody, about 35 being scared of this.
There are people who just are, man. And that's not a knock on them, but, everybody's different. But what it does is it shows so much to your character and who you are and what you're about. And I am proud to, that you're my donor, in a scientific way, but I'm really proud that you're my son. And I just think that you should be proud of you, and you should feel a sense of pride, not just because of this, but just your character. And I'm just can't wait to see how you grow and who you become, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can move on to another thing if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Since we've been talking about this a lot.
Sure.
This, podcast is called Sunny Days.
Yeah.
So, a little about me. Sorry, I'm starting to sound like, hey, it's all about me now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's kind of about me.
Go ahead and give them a little taste.
So, here's a little fact that not a lot of people know about me, and I'm pretty surprised that I actually got to do something like this. So, there's this platform, all the little kids play this, and, there's a lot of little kids on this game, but it's called Roblox, and I like to play on it. But the reason I like playing this, and there's something I get to be involved in, actually, is because, people make games on there. It's not just big game companies making things. It's actually just people about my age. In fact, the guy I used to work for on a game was like 15, actually.
So he worked on the game, and you helped a little bit with some of the characters.
Yes, I worked actually maybe like one or two things.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it. I didn't believe you at first.
I know.
I've seen it.
It was hard to believe my friend who actually introduced me to this guy until, I didn't believe him that same day. But that same day, he proved me wrong.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive what you did. I'll have to have you back on, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about your creative projects that you're working on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
Hey, I love you, buddy.
Love you too, man.
And I know I said it, but I just want you to know we're proud of you. And is there anything you'd like to say before we let your mom hop back on?
Just stay positive. How about that? I'm not exactly
maybe
sure.
have a sunny day.
Yeah. Hey, maybe have a... let me try that, right?
All right, go ahead.
Maybe have a sunny day. Yeah.
We'll have to record that. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, make my voice a little deeper.
Okay, I can do that. You ready?
Yeah.
Maybe have a sunny day.
Do it again.
Maybe why don't you have
a
sunny day.
All right, get out of here. You're on my nerves. Go.
Bye-bye.
I love you.
A few moments later.
We're back.
That took 3 times, but we're back for real. Well, that was fun. Reese is a character.
He did good?
Yeah, he did really good. He would still be in here talking about Roblox if I'd have let him.
Oh, he brought up Roblox?
Oh, he couldn't wait. He got knee deep into it. They did. The people, if they're still here, they don't know what I just saved them from. I mean, but it is cool what he did work on. I don't know if he ever showed it to you. He worked on a character and it popped up on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
He
designed it.
Showed it to me.
Very neat.
So he just went off on a Roblox tangent?
Oh, he tried it.
Or was he
in
deflecting?
There. Oh no, he actually told, I was like, I love you. I'm proud of you. And he's, you know how he is with all that. And then he was like,
Anyways.
Well, we've talked about we've talked about this a lot, but I want to tell y'all a little something about me and Roblox.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's Reese.
That
now
is
you know
Reese.
who he is.
That was actually a great.
He is unapologetically himself.
Yep, he's the best. He's great.
Who you meet is who he is.
We'll have to have Elijah on one day so people can see
They're so opposite.
how drastically different they are.
So opposite. Raised in the same house, same parents.
It's funny. They
opposite.
both love this though. I think he really enjoyed it. He really did do a good job. He spoke well. But yeah, I mean, how did you feel about, just to get into it, like, how did it make you feel like when you found out Reese was going to be the donor?
Like you really want to know?
Yeah.
Like I already knew it was going to be him.
Oh, did you?
Well, yeah. You remember when, like before it was even confirmed that you were headed towards transplant, it was the first thing I brought up. I was like, your children can be donors. And from the beginning, we were told, no, it's not going to happen. No, they can't. They don't pick children to be adult donors. And it was just always in the back of my head. Yeah. And mommy pressed. I was like, I really pressured them to get the boys tested.
You did.
I just had.
You really did.
I had, and I'm not, nobody knows what, we're claiming good things and
sure.
And positive things. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But I will say I felt like in my gut that, the boys needed to be tested. And I don't know. I kind of felt like it would be Reese.
Yeah, because you did push for that. I mean, I remember like it was.
And I think like towards like probably February, I think you felt it too.
Yeah.
And you were like, I feel like they're going to pick Reese. Yeah.
I kind of wrote it off for a minute there. Like when there was another family member that they said was like.
With the potential.
7 out of 12. We had to say it. Now we don't know their blood type, which would make a big difference between.
Yeah.
But which they were older. I mean, there was things that went against that went for Reese and vice versa. But I think that I kind of was thinking, well, it's probably not going to be Reese now because there's another related donor. And then we also had the unrelated donor that, I just did. I was kind of surprised, to be honest. I thought they were going to go with the unrelated.
Yeah. I felt like it was between, when we knew they were deciding when they were presenting it, I couldn't say that I knew it was going to be Reese that day, but I can tell you my gut, like the whole time I felt like it was important. It was pressing, that they be tested. And we were told consistently that no, there was no need and it just wasn't going to happen. And here we are.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I feel very proud. I get a little emotional about it. So I deflect. Look at the sunshine, but I feel really proud of Reese and proud of you both. And Reese has just always been a special little guy. He just always has been. He's been my little buddy forever. He's just he's a good person. He really is. He's just such a good person. So it feels right. You couldn't ask for a better human.
No.
And he genuinely means it. He's not doing it. I think that it could be a friend, and he would still do it.
I don't think it's just because it's.
I think a stranger could walk up.
It helps probably.
Right. But I think if it was like, hey, this stranger needs you to get tested.
Yeah.
Reese would do it and he would follow through.
And there's a lot of people. I don't want to put it out there that like, we probably had, I think we said this, we probably had hundreds of people test for me. It's not like, we only had 5 people,
no.
But there's a lot of.
There were so many people in the community that did it. So many people that did outreach for us, with us, to get tested. We still have people sending us their identification. So like their ID numbers, what is it called? Just sent to the nurses. Yeah. And we did send those, had a few friends that were, they were all kind of they would never, none of them would have made it as even a potential, but they were trying to beat each other. And so that was fun.
Yeah. We made light of it.
But as a parent, I couldn't be prouder just of who he is, whether it be you or someone else. I know that he would do it. And I'm just very proud of him. He's been so brave. And yeah, I think when we set him down, we were in this room and we set him down to tell him.
Yep.
And we asked him, you know, we just said, look, if you don't want to do this, it's okay. And now's the time to tell us. And we'll let the nurse know that you don't want to. And he's like, no, of course I would. Why wouldn't I? Like, he couldn't wrap his mind around how someone would not want to help. And then we said, okay, do you have, like, we had went over in detail about what could happen, what it was like, and, you know, things that would scare kids and adults too, you know. And we just said, you know, is there anything that you're nervous about? Anything you may be scared about as far as the process goes? And he said, yeah, to be honest with you, I am a little nervous. And, you know, of course we look at each other and, cause you were sitting over there and we looked at each other and we're like, okay, here it goes. You know, he's scared of needles, you know, and he said, well, I'm nervous. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And that explains exactly what type of person Reese is.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He may have to get a central line in his groin or in his chest or possibly in his jugular. He didn't care that he'd be hooked up to machines. He didn't care he'd have to get pricked.
He's worried it didn't
He's
work.
getting shots in his tummy for 5 days. It's going to make his bones hurt.
Yep.
He's going to make him fatigued, have headaches. And he doesn't care.
Yeah.
We told him all of those things, all the horrible, you know, things that kids don't want to, you know, nobody wants to be uncomfortable.
Right, yeah.
And his response was,
he was just afraid it wasn't going to work.
that was it.
That's what kind of person, you know, and
sorry, I tried to keep it short, but I could go on and on.
No,
I'm
well,
very
I want to
proud.
say like I don't want to pretend like we always say it's so easy. It's so easy. I don't want to like seeing the process up close. It is easy. It is easy in comparison to what you're, you know, the person you're donating for is going through and what it does for, and the magnitude what it does. But Reese does have to take boosters for his blood count to go up, which if you're working on a full bone marrow, it's just going to create some aching there and maybe low grade fevers and diarrhea. And I mean, you won't definitely get those, but those are like the very real side effects of doing it. And then you have to go somewhere to get the shot. You can give it to yourself at home, but you have to go donate, which takes a whole day.
Right. And you're asking, he is a child. Like, you know, he's a young man.
It's that much bigger.
Right. You know? So you're asking a child, young man to do something that adults are scared to do. So it's a big deal to me.
No, for sure. I want to say like for Reese, this is like a crazy big deal.
And by the way, like I think there are some adults that may, you know, have to do a central line here and there, depending on like their size.
Right.
But typically they go through the arms.
That's right.
So that was the first thing they said to us. They were like, look, if he's going to be a donor, it's most likely he'll have to get a central line.
Because they can donate more. It's a bigger line.
And sometimes because they are hooked up to the machine, you know, their veins blow and because they're smaller. So he's being extra. He's doing a little extra.
You know, it's cool. I mean, for me, I think it's really cool. The more I read about it, the haploidentical stem cell, you know, it does actually lower my risk in some areas, like of graft versus host disease and things of that nature. So that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, we have read a bunch of that, you know, and everyone has their opinion, and there's lots of
a lot of
reading out there, and
a little graft is good though. Like, okay, I want everybody.
Well, you know, cool. Again, that's an opinion.
Yeah, right.
We'll see.
There is an opinion that there could be too perfect of a match. Now, I'm no doctor. This is what I've been told by doctors. I would say really good doctors. They say that there's perfect match, and then what if it's too perfect, and then there's no graft, meaning no fight there, and then because the point of the stem cell is to fight a little bit and fight against my leukemia. So if it's a little graft, is what they say is the argument is there, and you can fact check me a little bit, but the argument there is like, how perfect do we want to get?
Okay, I'll fact check it.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, it is, the more I thought about it, I was like, because it makes sense. Like, and then some people might say, well, the perfect match is just perfect genetically that will still graft. Because the deal is, and I think we'll have a stem cell episode, but to go through it, but it has to 100% graft to me, or really close to that, really to be successful. So, but we do have
I think the goal is by 100 days
100%.
you to be 100% donor.
Yeah, and that's the goal there, and we have a date for the stem cell transplant.
June, is it the 20th?
I have it written on there. I think we just found out today, but I'm pretty sure June 20th is day zero. Yep. They say it's my second birthday, which is super. It's kind of neat. The way they actually throw you a little birthday party while you're in there.
And Elijah's birthday is the 14th of June.
Yep.
So, we're going to be partying.
Yeah.
Because your actual birthday is May the 26th. So
I'm ditching that one.
Party.
I think I'm going to ditch that birthday.
Oh, really? You're done with that one?
Think about it. I've had enough of
it is close to Memorial Day. And then
it's very inconvenient.
Yeah.
For everybody. So, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. I keep telling the doctors, like I told the nurse, she called me today. And I was like, thank you so much. We're really excited. And then I was like, because she said, oh, okay. I think it caught her off guard. I was like, well, I'm just ready to move forward one way or the other. Whether I say one way or the other, we really feel good about it. I've been.
Well, I think most people are probably just nervous.
I'm super nervous.
But I think you have to determine you have to know what type of person you are. But I think for us, the more information, the more we read,
the better we feel.
We digest it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always great. And then we're like, okay, now we know. So
let's do what we got to do.
Right. Let's do what we have to do. So I'm sure that most people approach it with, maybe we're just psychopaths.
I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, the chemotherapy they're giving me is bad. I mean, it's they told me, they said, everything that you've taken, this is going to be way worse. And I'm kind of just like that. So, I mean, it's going to be really rough. And but this is what I have to do. I mean, this is what I have to do to live. And this is, what we have to, this is our next journey. And we're glad we have a date. It takes a long time. I'll be without my family for about 100 days, or 100, maybe more. And so,
I mean, I'll be there.
Yeah. Sorry. You're my family too.
That's fine.
I meant like us as a family.
Yeah. I know what you meant.
But yeah. They're like, oh, he doesn't love his wife. He doesn't love her.
I don't think that.
She's so pretty and he doesn't love her.
I'm a little distracted. I'm hoping I wasn't flashing everyone.
I don't think
for the last 10 minutes.
It's okay. Now they can rewind that you brought it up.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Go back 10 minutes. No, but
Where's your weird sign?
I'm ready.
Your weird sound?
Which one?
I don't know.
You don't know? And
I can't remember the exact sound.
That was perfect. I guessed at that, by the way.
Good job.
But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, we really want to just highlight Reese, right? And
highlight Reese. Celebrate that you do have a donor. They decided.
We have a date.
On that, we have a date. Now we can start getting things in order. I cleaned like a crazy person today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to clean like a crazy person tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then I think we're going to squeeze in a few more episodes over the next couple weeks so we can, divvy those out while Colton's in the bed after some. I've been trying to talk him into getting a one of the tags. What are they called?
Are you talking about the air tag?
No, the tag you put in your car. It has the person on it.
Oh, yeah. She wants me to get a
what is it called? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
because I told him, I was like, look, you're going to feel, you guys don't understand. He's going to feel so bad and crummy. And I was like, even if we park close, you're not going to want to walk halfway across the hospital. So I was like, it's that or a wheelchair.
Yeah, I'm not doing a wheelchair. Yeah. We're going to try.
But no offense to anyone in a wheelchair. Okay?
No.
You guys are
just
great.
I want to walk it. I want to make myself do it. So I guess we'll probably have an episode where we can kind of explain what that process looks like.
Yeah.
But
we would love you guys to leave feedback. A couple of you have, but leave feedback. Please tell us what you would like us to go in detail about our next episode. Or if you're just like, hey, shut up about the cancer stuff.
And that's cool.
We'll do what we want still, but
we might back off of it. But for us, it's a good way to get information out. And
and people ask, and this is again, this is not a cancer podcast, but this is somewhere where people can find support and maybe, connect with someone who's been through it. And we're still trying to be as normal as possible.
Where our life is too, though, this is where we are right now.
This is
today,
life. Yeah.
It's
sometimes we cry in the dark room alone, like Colton said.
Yeah, it's been a rough
in the
2
corner in the
years,
fetal position.
Yeah. It feels like it's
But,
been
yeah,
a blink, but
it's
we had a really tough time. This weekend was tough. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but there was just some miscommunication on some information, and it seemed like
we'll get into all of it.
Yeah.
We need to have a podcast episode of just all the bad things.
Oh my God. It's like
'cause you've had a bunch
the
lately.
trauma. Yeah. We've got I haven't told anybody some
And then I
things
can
that
go
have
over
happened.
my crazy stuff.
Maybe we'll do that.
And I can,
in a
I can
couple
be like,
episodes. All right.
these are all the crazy things I've done.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we'll do that'd be good. We'll get off of the darkness. But I mean, I think there's light, and they did use the word cure a lot at Vanderbilt,
Yes.
and that was nice.
Yes.
Like, look, we're trying to cure you. Some doctors won't say that, and I love that. It's like, I don't want you to extend my life. I do, but like, I want you to cure me. I want you to fix
and they
this.
100% believe, they're like, this is the only way to cure.
It was their word.
This is the best
what they believe.
avenue. Mm-hmm.
So I love that. I'm like,
and it was a team of believers.
yeah,
so.
it was great. They were great. Every doctor was great. I love my doctors. Shout out Dr. Harris. I love my local doctor, but I also they really have a good thing at Vanderbilt. They have the well-oiled machine is what they've called that there. And it's true, but they're so smart. But anyway, well, I'm sure they've had enough of us yapping, but we have to hit our Harry Potter.
Oh you have it. Yeah, you have it this time.
You said I have it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's by you.
Okay. Well, here.
I'm nervous.
In the process. See. It's Elijah.
That was a good one.
All right. Here, I'll give you one. We have done pretty good so far. I've been vegging out on my Harry Potter stuff lately. I don't know the score. We'll have to get it.
Yeah.
Her iPad died. That has the score on it. So
sorry, guys. Well, you know what? We have a busy life. Okay.
All right, you go first.
Oh no! What month, day, and year is Harry Potter's birthday? Okay, I remember the month and
I got nothing. October.
The day now because I saw it and I'm like, oh no. But
I got nothing.
No, July 31st because it's the day after mine, but it's 1980.
I just never knew that.
Yeah,
I never even. Okay, well, that was hard.
He's older than you.
Ooh, this is kind of difficult too. What kind of owl is Hedwig?
Barn owl.
Snowy owl. Let's go.
That's right. The barn owls are great.
Yeah. That was a terrible guess. I'm going to be honest with you there.
Me?
Yeah, it was a bad guess. Barn? It's a white owl.
I think that's what I picked when I took the test. I think it asked me or something.
Are
we just throwing these?
That's what I've been doing. Oh, I forgot to do the...
Okay.
You go.
And then, what is the name of Harry Potter's hometown?
I've been reading a lot about this lately. If I miss this, I'm really going to be disappointed. I need a second.
Okay. They definitely talk about it a lot in the movies too.
Oh my gosh. I've literally last night, I could tell you so much about that town. It is.
Do you want to?
Does it start with a G?
Yes. I'm so proud of you. It starts with a G.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
You mean
yeah, Something. Okay, what is it?
Godric's Hollow.
Wasn't even close in my mind. But I've been reading so much about that. It's like the book goes way into detail.
I'm still stuck on book 3.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in you. I don't think you're ever going to finish it with me.
So much on my mind. I'm going to do it. What it is I read that all while you were going through your treatments in the hospital. So don't worry, I'm going to be back on it soon.
Okay. Before Severus Snape, who was the potions master at head of Slytherin House. Sorry, before Severus Snape. Ooh, this is a good question.
Yeah, you're going to have to start over.
Sorry. The way I read that was terrible.
My brain.
Okay. Before Severus Snape, who was the potions master and head of Slytherin House? Listen, you can get this. You can get this.
Before
Snape.
Mm-hmm.
Who did potions and was the head of the household of Slytherin? I'm going to give you a hint.
No.
There's a movie
Don't
all
give
about
me
it.
a hint.
I don't know if you still
Don't
could guess
give me
his
a
name.
hint. That's not fair. I didn't put any timers on you.
Oh man,
I know who
You're
it
gonna be
is.
so mad when I
I
tell
know who
you.
it is. I just don't know their names. It's fine.
Professor Horace Slughorn.
Oh, no.
You didn't get?
That's not who I thought that was going to be.
You remember the
Yeah.
in the movies?
I'm a dum-dum. I went like way back.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry.
it was way back, but it,
Yeah, I went to like the beginning.
No.
Sorry.
Who'd you think?
I don't think I'm a real fan.
We didn't get one right. All right, let's see if we can get one right together.
Okay.
I gotta. Well, the answer's on here. How am I gonna do
Yeah,
that?
it's
I'm
okay.
I'm gonna
Just
cover it. I'm gonna
just
cover it.
answer.
I covered it.
It's fine. Just let me do it.
Okay. This notable Diagon Alley shop sells robes, uniforms, and other school supplies. Man, you're not gonna get. You might, because we went there when we went to Universal.
Mm-hmm. Say it again.
Who sells the robes and uniforms at Diagon Alley? You're gonna recognize it when I say it.
I'm not a true fan, and I just want to apologize to everyone I ever mocked for not watching the Harry Potter movies or going to Universal.
It's Madame
reading any
Malkin.
Books. It does not ring a bell.
Madame Malkins.
I have a lot on my mind lately, okay?
Well, we
I'm
did
so
not
sorry.
do well today.
I'm embarrassed.
I'm hurt.
I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed
really,
of myself.
But you know what? Honestly, that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
Hopefully so. I think it's a
Great
news.
You'll enjoy Reese. He's a great guy. He's my boy.
What you see is what you get.
That's right. We love y'all. Thank you so much for people who've tuned in, and there've been so much feedback, positive feedback. Maybe they just love us, and that's fine too. But we really enjoy doing it. It's a good time for us to sit down and talk and take a break from everything going on. And we always say it, and I'm going to keep saying it.
Go ahead.
If you're having a dark time, this is a place you can come for a sunny day. All right.
Good job. Love you.